I hope everybody is doing blessed. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my grown, extended, beautiful family, just thank you so much. We're all going through different changes and uplifting ourselves in a way we truly need it and trust and believe. Nothing we're doing is ever in vain. So, with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings. Love and light. Many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. And if you are comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting, you're knowing me. Even if it's about the positive feedback, the content of my video, or you just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacts your life, and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are very uplifting to you, give you good vibes, good information, you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that are going through trying times and needing spiritual guidance, or just needing confirmation or validation towards life path, or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share them while you're at it. Give your girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support. It's so greatly appreciated. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you're able to resonate from the content of my video. And the music I'm playing in the background is called Mindfulness Music for Peace of Mind, Heartbeats from of Mother Earth, 528 hertz healing planet meditation. And I'll go ahead and put that link in the description box below. And my video I'm doing today is called Twin Flame 101 Heyoka's Never Turn Your Back on Your Frenemies. Frenemies, it was like, what is that? It's your family that turned out to be enemies. I mean, you didn't, I always thought that family is going to be family when I grew up. I thought they were all supposed to be tight knit. But boy, you got to worry about those more than you do your daggone enemies, because it's just like they have that inside track. You have that inside track on things. There's a whole bunch of people that I've met on, going through their spiritual journey and stuff like that. And it when you allow yourself to step out that matrix, boy, it shows you things that you could never believe. I said, shut your mouth and keep on talking. I'm serious, because it's like when I was talking to my cousins that I grew up with and stuff like that, and then telling them about the things that I was doing, being pretty much like a, what do they call that? Uh, mental, what do they call it? God dog it. Motivational speaker. I almost lost the word. Motivational speaker. And they were just laughing at me and stuff like that. Like, girl, who you going to be motivating? You've been this, and this, and that. Constantly bringing up how I was as a child. And I'm just like, hey, we don't want to compare stories. You were like the seed of Chucky when you were growing up. We thought we were going to have to lock you up. So don't be going there with me. But it's just like the fact is you really have to understand who is really your enemy and who is really your friends, or shoot, even your family. When growing up, and there's sometimes where I'm still going through things and I'm just like, is this my real life right now? Am I really going through this, with family and stuff like that? Because it was like right when I was starting my journey, and after my dad died, everybody was doing these DNA tests and stuff like that. It was all over the news and stuff. And then all of a sudden, when they found out I was doing things, they would, ask these little questions like, hey, are you going to Minnesota and this and this and this and that? Well, I would help you if I could. And it was just the fact is they were trying to make sure they would have been able to analyze every single thing I was doing, because they already knew everything that, I needed to know to take home. And it was just like something so heart wrenching that I would have never thought my adopted father and his wife and her children will all be on the end of this, and it's just like when I think about everything that has came to light and everything is transpired in my life, it was truly traumatizing. But then when I allow myself to see how far I've come from that situation, it makes it feel so much of a blessing in disguise, not even really trying to go back, well, they did this and they did that. It's just the fact is a lot of things, you would never think it would be your friend, your family that you would have to be able to, you have to watch your back on, you know. Um, And it's like nowadays people used to laugh at me. I said, when you can find family or even frenemies as well as families, you know, they have a problem for every solution. My kids used to laugh at me when I say that. I said, I don't got time for people that got problems for every solution. And they were like, Mom, did you? Yes, I said it exactly how I was supposed to say that. And they just started laughing. I said, it's true, because it was just like going through this. It felt like such a nightmare to me because it was like going through this. I already don't like nobody trying to sit up here and insult my intelligence, especially when you're everything is like sticking out like a sore thumb, like you're making yourself look guilty, you know. And it was like going through this. Going down this journey has not been easy for me, and I just see how far I've come just from this situation. It's opened me up to where, I knew what that loneliness felt like, being able to have a spiritual gift, like you knew certain things. I wasn't able to really express myself the way I wanted to. The only time I could really express myself like that was when it was just me and my mom. And then it would get to that point where it was hard for me to even say anything to her because her husband used to program me saying, your mom is never going to believe you if you say this, that, and the third, or, I can do this to you and she would never believe you. She'll pick you over me. And if you keep telling her, oh, she's going to get you locked up. So he would always, haunt that over me, that my mom would never, ever believe anything that has happened to me. And if I did tell her, she would lock me up. So he would, program me to think that. And excuse me, it's like ever since my mom has passed on, she went through her transition, we have been able to talk, since I had that special gift and stuff like that. I talked to my mom and them, and it, I guess after she passed away, she kind of got like the big picture of, things she has always questioned. Like every time I would go visit her ex-husband and his wife, I would always come back different and didn't know why. My mom's like, every time you go down there, you always start acting different. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are and she said, I did. And then all of a sudden, when all this stuff started coming out, then I started seeing how, when they used to take me to a therapist, and, how you put somebody under sleep hypnosis when, they're really triggered by certain things that they dream about, or certain things that they, this really, makes them change their demeanor. They use those techniques to be able to, basically, make me vulnerable. Basically it was like mind raping me. And it's just like all these different things started coming back, and it was like a whole full flood is everything that I suppressed, or everything they tried to make me forget about, so they can get away. Basically they can get away with, embezzling money. And it's just like all these different things has came up. There's sometimes I just sit at my dad, look at my dad's picture, and I would cry a lot. And then I allowed myself to really see things how it was. And it's just like, I'm not going to allow this to really take me there. You know, I have to really keep telling myself you are very strong, because of the things that has transpired in your life, and knowing what people have done to you, to just to make sure that they were good. And it wasn't just with you, it was with their children as well. That, I tell anybody, anytime somebody can't control you, and being able to pull a fast one on you, like my mom say, they will always try to make sure they had something bad to say about you towards other people. So when they did see you, they will already be judging you already. And it was just like, going through all these different things, it made me sit back and really analyze everything that I've been through, and it's just like when I would talk to her ex-husband, I had two favorite aunts on my mom's side that I talked to a lot, and it was like he harped in on them. So when I was telling him about all these things that went on, well, at least my mom's baby sister, she was like, well, you need to get along with your dad. I'm like, look, I don't even call that man dad. I don't even strip him that. She's like, well, you just call him by his first name. I knew something had to happen, but it was like he already got into our head. And it was just like, you know what? This is something I'm gonna have to deal with on my own. And then when I allowed myself to really step out that matrix and step out of that trickery and effery, I ain't gonna say that word, you know, um, it was like a blessing in disguise to me, because it really took me a long time to really understand what had to take place in my life, because it's like people are set in your life, and we picked all these people that we're dealing with that had to come back in your life and really mess you up, turn your whole world upside down, just for you to understand and remember who you truly were. They had to really strip you clean from all those things in life, just to basically say they don't have that power over you. They can't do the things that they told you they had to do. Everybody's playing a part in your life, that you had to be that person that grew from all that pain, that separated themselves from all the abuse, knowing this too shall pass. When you're allowing yourself to say, when you pull yourself out of that loop, it'll allows you to see the strength that you carry. That light has always been beaming, you know. And it's just like when I can see the things that I went through, and I'm just like, you know what? When I allowed myself to step out that anger, because when I held anger towards those people, that meant they had my power. You're not claiming that like that. You already done took everything else from me. You're not taking that, you know. And it's just like I knew I had to go through things. I knew I had to understand what I was doing, what my purpose was, what do I continue to do. And when you can allow yourself to use the experiences you had to be able to allow somebody to really look at your life and look at it like in your eyes, not about how other people want them to see you. Because everybody has their different perception of you. Everybody has their interpretation of you. But what is important is how, when you look in the mirror, do you fall in love with what you see? Do you allow yourself to admire the person that you have become, or you're on your way of becoming? Because there's a lot of things that you have went through in life that really made you like, God dog, is this really something I went through? Because I'm serious. I go through it every once in a while. Like, this seems so surreal that I'm going through this. Am I really doing this? Because it was like growing up. I mean, when I said I love my mom's husband, like that was my beginning of my sunlight to the moon and all this stuff. And then when, it was like, I always thought my mom was being bitter of the way she talked about him a lot. And then I had to go for what, when he did the abuse of mental and emotional abuse with her, he harped that mess on me as soon as my mom died. And it was like, they really did that. Oh, shoot, if I be serious, more serious, shoot, they tried that, before she even passed away. But then I had to allow how I can see how I've transformed into the person I am. And I'm blessed they did that to me, even though that situation has threw me in so many different emotional and mental and spiritual changes. I get it. I truly get it, because it's like when you see the videos I've had in the past, when I brought this stuff up, you can feel the anger and demeanor into me change. Like, I mean, I want to do some damage to these folks. But then it's just like, if I was to see them today, and they get mad at me when I say that because I'm too calm. They don't like that because they want to be able to press my buttons. And it's like, dude, there has to be some buttons to press for it to be there, because you can't press my buttons. I had to allow myself to say, this is not going to be, this is something that you really had to go through, but you had to allow yourself to understand what was being played to you. Everything is smoke and mirrors. It's not always what you see, even though this might be what you hear. And these are the things they're trying to do. But you have to understand what was the core of them trying to do that in the first place, and then I had to allow myself to know your strength is going to get you in places that, it had to be it really had to be something that really had to traumatize you for you to peel back those layers, just to see what was all laying up under the fear, the anguish, the pain, the trauma, all those different things that has been in your life. What was laying up under that? And you had to keep on going by the layers, and the veils were getting snatched off left and right, left and right, left and right. And you had to allow yourself to mold you how you want it to be, how you want it to be seen, how you can be understood. You're not that person that they beat down. You're not that person that they lied on. You're not that person that they molested or fondled or anything like that. You are who you choose to be. You're not a product of what they did to you. You're a product of what you have overcome of what they did to you, because that was the reminder of what you were. Because it's like when I allow myself to tell them, you know, that, okay, I don't even smoke weed or, take a drink anymore. I haven't had a drink since May 19th of last year. That's the last time I had one. Had a couple of puffs of a blunt. Didn't even want that. I said, this is not even my life no more. So when I see them, I always say thank you, because you reminded me of something I never knew I was. I had to be reminded of that. And it was just like they don't have that part of me anymore. It's just like, my mom's husband, his sister just died a few weeks ago. And it's like now I hear her in occasion because I really love my aunt. And it was just like I had to really step back after I got off the phone. I'm like, God, dog, it didn't even really hurt me that my aunt had passed away. And it wasn't like I didn't care, but I didn't realize I went through that much emotional detachment from him. It was like nothing would phase me. Like he could die tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, peace out, whatever. I really wouldn't care. And it's not like, oh, I'm glad that what happened to him. Even though I wouldn't even wish that on him. I'm just like, I want you to live. I want you to be able to understand what you have done, you know, and but it's not my mission to make sure that man gets hurt or his wife gets hurt. I had to be that better person because they wish death on me. They plot their demise on me, and it's always blocked, because it's like God will allow me to see certain things that they have tried to plot against me, or people they have joined to sit up here and plot things against me. And it's like, God's like, no, no, you're not going to be able to do it. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. She's on a mission. I placed her on this. You can't sit up here, and it's weird because he's a pastor. I think he's still a pastor. And his wife is a first lady. And I said, you doing devilish shit like this? Really? I don't know who you praying them to. I don't know where you sending them to. Cause I ask him, where you praying them? Where you trying to send them folks to? Or he get mad when I ask him, you still a pastor? And I said, this is the main reason why folks like that, I'll worship my God at home. I don't need to be doing all that. But it's just like when I allow myself to really see it for what it's worth, when I allow myself to see the transformation I've allowed to take place in my life, that I allowed myself to heal in places I never saw, I never thought I would heal. And it was always constantly hearing from the divine, not everything is what it seems. Allow yourself to take your pain back, because it's just for you having that power of anger, power of, you know, vengeful, V for vendetta, anything like that. You're being just like they were when it came to their parents and what they endured and what they have went through, because it was just like me growing up. I would constantly hear my mom's ex-husband talk about how abusive his dad was. And, his dad did look like that type. He carried that heavy energy of that. But when he would talk about his dad, his whole demeanor would change. Like he was still pissed off, even though that man been dead for a good minute. It's like that man still had that power over him. And I told him the last time I talked to him, I forgive you, but you really do need to heal. Anybody who can sit up here and tell you straight to your face, knowing they have everything that has just kept you from your family, your birth family, just because they wanted to make sure they can get money and live good for the rest of their life. Because it's like there you go, you got one foot on heaven, and one foot on earth and one foot off in the grave. You know, you just want to make sure that your grandchildren as well as your child would suffer for the rest of their life. You want them to see them in poverty. You try to make sure all those things happen, and you sit up here and say, I can die today and go to my grave and know I never did anything. And I said, that's the most saddest thing you could have ever said to me, because you are willing to go that far to try to not just control stuff while you're living, but control it after you died. That's some serious stuff that you need to heal from. And with me being able to say that, and I'm saying it like I'm saying it here right now, that was the worst thing I did, because I did not allow him to pull that type of power with me. I didn't get loud with him. I didn't cuss him out. I already did that. I already said what I had to say. I said, you for you to really piss me off, you have to allow me to really care for you. You're not relevant in my life. You're a blessing in my life, but you're not relevant to my life. You were that one that allowed me to see what I was. You tried to beat that out of me. You tried to trauma that out of me, but you were threatened by that because of what I stood for, what I could accomplish. When people see you as the threat, they want to make sure they can beat that strength up out of you. But it's up to you where you decide to take your life, where you decide to go on your path. Because people are like, well, do I have a choice? Yeah, you always got a choice. You can allow yourself to let the situations that took place in your life eat you alive. And you just basically close yourself up from all the blessings that are about to come into your life, that are about to take place, just because you endured that and you never gave up on what you truly wanted in your life. Or you can allow yourself to see in between the smoke and mirrors. Allow yourself to read between the lines and let them know this is not this is what you had to go through to get you on your path. These are the things you had to learn from and heal from to get further and where you really truly need to be. But the only way you were going to be able to do that is you allow yourself to evaluate the things that has surpassed in your life. Allow yourself to let go of that and thank it for what it showed you, because when you are still living, be able to perch your mouth up and say the things that has happened to you in your life, that's strength right there, because you allowed yourself to be vocal about the things you have endured in life, not by saying, oh, I'm a victim, woe is me. That's what I'm saying. And it's not like I'm trying to be harsh or anything like that, because I was in that type of mode, because I was always crying and being mad about what these people did to me. But then when I allowed myself to see everything happens for a reason, no matter how they try to manipulate the system thinking they're about to get stuff, or try to make me disappear or whatever, have me somewhere missing and stinking somewhere. Whatever is for you will be for you. No matter what somebody tries to rob, con you, when they want something, you don't got to manipulate the system to get it. If it's going to be for you, it's going to be for you. Because there's a lot of times I see myself looking and it's like, you really thought you were going to get away with this, or you really thought certain things were going to be yours when you had to lie, steal, cheat, and beg, and manipulate stuff just to get it. You think God was going to bless you with something like that? Come on now, you had to be a little bit more smarter than that. But when people are seeing money, the things that people would do for money, this my situation has really showed me what people will do in the light of the money. It's not the fact of you wanting to have closure. You want to be able to meet your family. All these different things has came about in my life. And I can really say thank you for that, because it allowed me to appreciate a lot of things that I have achieved. A lot of things I found out the depths about myself, seeing if, okay, these things happened to me. So now what are you going to do? It would be easy for you to just knock somebody off, but you have to be stronger than that. Don't act on impulses. And I had to really take myself back like that. I had to tell myself, come from the light, Caroline, coming from the light, you know what I'm saying? But then when I allowed myself to really see what taking place, and I was just like, look at all the people you have been helping, just because the fact is you went through these things. You have really endured some really dark stuff that, nobody could really imagine or comprehend. How are you able to survive this? How are you able to live and still be able to wish well towards people? And it took me a long time to not have hatred on them. It took me a long time. It's like anytime they would call me, I would have like mental funerals about these folks. I would really do that. And I used to tell people the most scariest thing you can do is try to piss somebody off that don't even care about your well-being. That's the worst thing, especially if they have a really bad a really freaky imagination. But then when I allowed myself to get out that mist of anger, because that's what the devil wanted me to do, is just stay being angry, being pissed off at the world, finding out how I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. No, I'm not gonna be that, because that's what they were trying to do to me. But I had to allow myself to say, this stops here. This ain't gonna continue with me, because this cord's being severed. I had to allow myself to take my power back. These folks, they're not nothing to me. When people when you see the strength in somebody and you envy that, or you see that love that you have never received in your life, that can rub people the wrong way. Excuse me. And when I allow myself to really see everything that took place in my life, when I tell you I feel blessed, I feel really blessed, because it's like all the things that I went through, I had to really understand why did it have to be so bad? Why did it have to be so heavy? But then I see the videos I make, I'm always kept it real. People like, I love the way you say it, because it's real raw, and you're not being phony about anything. I'm saying, no, I'm being authentic. I'm being authentic. It's like, if you're an empath, when somebody going to sit up here and feed you a line of BS, and that's not what I'm doing. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. That's not what I'm doing either. When I can allow myself to tell you, these are the things that I went through. These are the things I endured just because of who I was related to. But these are also the things that has healed me. This is the same thing that made me stronger, to let me know I see my purpose. I understand my purpose, and I'm blessed for that. because there's a lot of people out there that has really endured some dark stuff growing up, and they're trying to get into their mind, not allowing these demons to take them under that, because it takes a lot of strength for you to maintain of being strong and not want to place somebody that has done some really hellish stuff to you and want to be able to lash out on that. I get it. I get it, because I was there at that one time, but I had to allow myself to, what a true revenge is. The way you can truly get somebody that's placed something on you, act like you're not moved. Do better than them. When you're allowing yourself to be better than what they try to place on you, that'll piss somebody off in a minute, because the fact is, they didn't make your world turn. God did that. Universe did that. You going hard for what you believe in, what you allowed yourself to break away from. That's the best revenge you can ever give a person, that is try to place some really dark stuff on you. When you allow yourself to know that you're not like them, you're opposite of them, it's like, look, you don't put me through this and I'm still going. Hell, I'm doing better than I was yesterday. I always tell people, be in competition with what you were 5 minutes ago. Be in what you were in competition was last week. When you're allowing yourself not to be moved by mongers over here, when they just trying to just snatch everything from you, or trying to tell you about your life, or saying, everything up under the sun about how they see you, is really about how they see themselves. That's why I try not to judge anybody. Is anytime I talk to somebody and they tell me about the things they went through, I don't judge anybody, because all of us have a past that we're not so proud of. All of us has done some stupid stuff that we're not proud of. As long as you grew from that, you're not still doing those same things. It's like, when you learn from your mistakes, you try to change how you live about your life, how you go about things, how you project towards things, how you focus on them, how you shift energy towards it. Are you going to allow yourself to put energy on things, on making you heal, making you a lot stronger, trying to understand about where you're trying to go on your path and what you're going to try to do for your life? There's too many devilish people out here anyway. You have to be able to project love throughout the midst of the storm. Be that diamond in the rough, like I told you the other day. Y'all are, all of us, we're that hidden gem that the world needed. You had to be that rough one that sparkled a little bit, but it's like, the more stuff you came, the grime, the dirt and stuff came off, the more you kept on going through abuse, changes, hitting them storms, going through hurricanes of sadness in your life. All them things kept wiping off to where you became this big jewel. That was very fascinating. Like, they have to have one like that. I said, I want that. And that's what you are. They're like, I want that. I want to be like that. And anybody can be that way, but they have to understand, because a lot of people get mad when they see the things that you have won, you have progressed in, but they envy that, because they felt like, that person shouldn't have that, but they didn't see the struggles you have endured to get there. They didn't see the things that you had to sacrifice, you had to cut ties with, the circle you had to change, about what you grew in, because a lot of times it depends on what kind of company you keep. If you keep that kind of company that's always judging people, or very mediocre, or always got time to be gossiping and judging on people, that's what you hang with, that's what you are. I'm a type of person, I like peace in my life. I like to see go-getters. I like to see people, they're trying to grow, allowing themselves to see what has impacted in their life, and say, what, I'm no, I don't like this. I don't want to go through that anymore. Not allowing yourself to, feed your escape, trying to find an escape for things that you really need to face. I did that for a long time. I used to smoke weed just to, take away the pain, not want to be able to face anything, and, really trying to come to terms about feeling like my life was over. When my dad died, it was like a piece of me died with him. And, you know, having me being robbed from being able to be around my family, ones that I really wanted to know about, how was I like, what do I get from this side? What do I get from that side? And it's just like a blessing that God gave me, even though the physical has been robbed, the spiritual will always be there. I had to tell one of my love bugs the other day, when you have strong bond with love in between people, and they're no longer here in the living, but they stay in communication with you on the spirit realm, there's never no death. It's just transformation. They're going to come back to you, but just in a different way. you know and those are the things that we have to really heal from. That there's people that have been healed as children. And a lot of times when you see that person, even though they might be older and grown, you could still be reflecting that wounded child that sits in the corner. I felt that with a lot of people, and it tugged on my heart because I can get it. I understand, and a lot of times people don't understand how people can get on drugs or how they have this self harm or eating disorder. You don't know how do they, how can I say it? How they deal with pain. I've dealt with a lot of people that have little different things that they deal with, different things that they do that that's like a coping mechanism that they use that they truly had to endure to heal from, and it's just like it takes a lot of strength to be able to do that. There's a lot of things that I ran from. There's days that I've sat here and cried, and kept telling my mom, my grandparents as well as my dad, how life wasn't fair. This is not how I should be, not getting closure, and your dad's all over the place. And you really didn't have that, people saying how they met my dad. And, that would like really tug at my heart. But I would feel like, that's a blessing that you were able to be in his presence like that. I wasn't able to have that since I was a baby. But then it's like I see him in my dreams, I can see him in my eye, and I really feel like that's a blessing. He's, just because somebody robbed the physical from me, you never can take away the spiritual, you know. And a lot of us has been robbed from our happiness. You have to be able to allow yourself to never turn your back on those type of people, but face them. When you can look people in their eye and just let them know you don't have that power over me, but I forgive you, and I pray for you, because that's a lot of things that person needs to deal with. And you have to understand, hurt people, you know, you don't have to turn back and be ugly towards them like they are towards you. You have to be better than that person. So no matter what, your slate's clean. How they treat you is their karma. How you react to it is yours. And usually when it comes to us, we'll end up catching it before they do. Just because the fact is you've been taught to let go. You have been taught no matter if they're ugly, you still don't allow somebody to take you out of your character. I don't do that. And there'll be times I really want to go off on somebody. I'm like, for what? I'm not even about to give you that pleasure because that makes me no better than what you were doing to me. I don't got time. So I can show you how much I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm gonna be better than that. I'm gonna be better than them. And that's what you have to do for yourself. No, don't ever turn your back on folks like that, but just show them how it's done. Allow yourself to keep moving. Allow yourself to keep wanting better in your life. Keep wanting your family to do better, because there's generations that's coming after you, and you were supposed to be that one that cuts and severs all that stuff, and you will. It just takes time. It's not going to be done overnight. A lot of times we get frustrated because we aren't able to let go of things that's really been, holding in our heart. Because a lot of times we hold on to pain and sadness like a security blanket. Like, y'all became very acquainted. Y'all became, very best friends. I was like that. I had to tell myself, this is where that road ends for you in that pain. This is where the road ends for you in this trauma. We have something so much better further down the line, but you have to allow yourself to break free of this first for you to be able to get to this. And then it allowed me to really see this had to be my purpose. You have to be broken to be bloomed. You had to go back into the sand, like a seed. You nurture it, you water it, but it had to be in that darkness for a while. It had to be healed in that storm. So when you allowed yourself to take care of that, it bloomed into something very beautiful, very exotic. Because you allowed yourself to be able to break away from the norm, break that chain of things that has passed on and passed on. When you allow yourself to be better, it's like they how they say it runs family deep, but it stopped with them. It stopped with you. You producing something totally different. You were producing something totally different. That's why you had to be able to go through all the hell that you went through, because with you being able to go through what you went through and you shook that mess off, like it is no longer a part of you, and you're allowing yourself to be calm throughout the storm. Because it's like a lot of times you can hold on to that anger and you really want people to pay for what they did to you, and it will. But you have to allow yourself to not worry about that. Worry about how you're going to heal. Worry about how you're going to be once all this stuff is over. When you're focused on your growth, when you're focused on your healing and your strengthening, that's what your main focus is. You don't got to worry about all the rest other stuff, because trust and believe, spirit, karma, universe all got your back. Because when you're allowing yourself to be in a loving place and not trying to be vindictive about things, because when you be vindictive and you're so worried about how that situation is going to turn out, I just look at it and laugh like, damn, I would love to be the fly on the wall. But listen here, I'm still loving what I do. There are so many people I'm helping in so many different parts of the world, and it allows me to be blessed for that. I feel honored for me to have that passed down to me, for me to be that way, because I've always been that type of person. I said stuff directly, and sometimes people used to call me a bitch for that, excuse my language, but, because I was so forward about it. I didn't care if I hurt anybody. Now I try to be very mindful and discerning about how I project out things, because I tell people, if you don't have to agree with everything I say, but if you want to say something to me and you want to keep talking, you have to make sure your messages, don't come at me crazy. And I always tell people that we don't have to agree on everything, but watch how you come at me. It's all about how you deliver your message. When you disagree, you can have your view. I can have my view. There's a lot of people on here that, they're stuck in their ways, or they're stuck in how they want to do things. And I just pray for them, because I've been there. I understand that, but it takes a minute for those people to heal, where you were already almost there. They're trying to get there. So you have to understand, I have to be patient with people when I'm trying to help them, because you don't know what kind of demons they're fighting when they're by themselves. There's a lot of things after closed doors, a lot of things go down, what I'm saying, that not too many people know about. So it's just like, when you're allowing yourself to break away from them frenemies, breaking away from your frenemies as well, you know, when it comes to real true situations, that allows fake folks will be exposed in the quickness, because a lot of times you deal with people, you don't want to have trust issues, but it's like, if you're like me, you have dealt with a lot of people that had hidden intentions, even though that's not what I projected out. But I can't get mad because they don't think the way I think. They don't have the same heart as me. At times I used to think, am I stupid? Am I naive? It's not even about that, because you try to see past all that, because they even went through things just like you did. So it's not about you being stupid. It's not about you being naive or anything like that, because if that's not how you try to work with people, even though they might have that plotted already when they get in touch with you, they don't have anything to do with you, because you're coming from a pure heart. They're not. And that's going to end up that's going to mess them up. It ain't going to mess you up, but allow yourself to keep going and keep doing you. So I hope that you were able to resonate with the content of this video. I'm gonna try to go ahead and do two more. I'll do at least two more. If not, I'm just go do another one. But y'all, I ate, and that's the reason why it took me a minute to bring this one out, because I had to go jump around. Because once I eat, if I get too comfortable, I'm out like a light, and I ain't trying to do that right now. So I'm trying to change the way I do my daily routines. But let me go ahead and give a post notification shout out to Ashley Marie, Angel Fish, and Laura Kennedy. Much love to you, as well as Ray Clay. Much love to you as well. And thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time at my channel, welcome. It's so good to have you. Drop me a line, give me a thumbs up, share, notarize. I said notarize. Hit the notification bell. I don't know why I was talking about notarize. Y'all, don't mind me. Yeah, share, subscribe, drop me a line. Know that you are truly blessed, highly favored, and forever loved, and knowing there's always somebody out there praying for your better days. Make sure you give out love, light, positivity, prosperity, love vibes, frequencies, and words. You never know, those can really take somebody a long way. And if you want to get in touch with me, but you don't feel comfortable with talking here, you can always find me on the Book of Faces up under my name. You can send me a Facebook message. I'm not accepting any Facebook friends, but you can hit me up and tell me, hey, we connect on YouTube, and let me know the things that you need assistance with when it comes to your spiritual path and your purpose. I'm in Pacific Standard Time, so you can get in touch with me from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 at night. Nothing before that, nothing after that, because those are my times to recharge and have my me time. So I will see y'all in my next video. Much love to you. Peace. Be well.